Good morning and welcome to the Leon County and City of Tallahassee pre-landfall press conference on Helene. We want to thank our media partners for being here this morning and to help us share this important community update. Also, I want to thank all of those watching our live stream and listeners that are on the radio with WFSU, as well as other stations that are carrying this broadcast live. Helene is expected to make landfall in the Florida Panhandle as a major hurricane. The storm poses a national threat with more than 50 million people currently under watches and warnings. Right now, Helene is a tropical storm at 70 miles per hour. It is closely approaching hurricane strength. Over the coming day through tomorrow, Helene will strengthen to a major Category 3 hurricane with 120 mile per hour winds. We will expect Category 3 conditions as it approaches landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Here locally, we can expect heavy rainfall, 6 to 10 inches of rain with isolated higher amounts. For those reasons, the National Weather Service has placed Leon County and Tallahassee under a hurricane warning, as well as a flood watch. The impacts from Helene can be widespread with catastrophic damage, downed trees, prolonged power outages, and infrastructure damage that can take weeks or even months to fully recover from. That is why we are continuing to watch Helene and monitor its progress and potential impacts on this community. The Emergency Operations Center is activated. Our teams are coordinating with all of our community disaster partners, and we are ready for whatever impacts come to our community. As Leon County continues to make preparations for Helene, our residents now need to do the same. You can never be too informed or too prepared, particularly as we face the impacts that may come from Helene. And I want to be clear, today is the day to take action. If you do not have a plan, you need to make a plan for yourself and your family, to include your pets. Please visit Leon County's emergency information portal at leoncountyfl.com/EI to receive critical emergency information for this and any future disasters our community faces. You can also visit leonready.com to find a host of resources and materials to help your family make their plan now so you can be ready for Helene. While you're at leonready.com, you can download the Leon County Citizens Connect app. It is your best resource to receive real-time updates on activities related to Helene from the Emergency Operations Center. Now I'd like to turn the press conference over to the Leon County Commission Chair, Ms. Carolyn Cummings.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Peters, and we certainly appreciate your continued coordination on the critical effort facing us today. I also want to thank our county administrator, Vince Long, and his staff, and our city and state teams for working tirelessly to ensure the safety and resilience of our community. I also want to acknowledge my fellow commissioners who are here this morning, Commissioner Minor and Commissioner O'Keefe. Helene is projected to be an historic and life-threatening weather event that will bring hurricane-force winds and flooding rain to our area. These forces can cause structural damage to our homes and businesses and can pose a serious threat to our lives. The power of this storm must not be underestimated. As we well know from past experiences, high-speed, damaging winds can present unique challenges to our community, including blocking roads and cutting off entire neighborhoods from critical services. Upon the recommendation of our county emergency management, effective now, the county is issuing a mandatory evacuation order to those who live in manufactured homes. Following guidance from FEMA that found mobile homes and manufactured homes to be unsafe during hurricane-force winds, the county will be opening risk shelters beginning at 6 p.m. today. And Superintendent Hannah will share more information about those shelters a little later. But please know that the county is working hard to fully prepare for whatever this storm may bring. And we urge all of our citizens to be prepared and to be safe as we ask God to protect all of our citizens in our county. So thank you for being here. Now I invite our great mayor, John Dailey, to come to the podium for a few remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. First of all, Chairman Cummins, thank you for your leadership. You helped make this process seamless between the governments. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined today by two of my colleagues, the Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Richardson, Commissioner Diane Williams-Cox, and our city leadership, City Manager Reese Goad. Our highest priority will continue to be ensuring the safety of our community. We are committed to providing essential services to the residents of Tallahassee before, during, and after a disaster. And the city's frontline crews include those from electric, water, sewer, natural gas, solid waste, aviation, stormwater, traffic, fire, police, communications, and customer service. They are all trained experts in their field, and they are ready to respond. And I want to take a second proactively to thank all of the men and women of the city of Tallahassee, Leon County government, the state officials that are helping us as well during this event, and the leadership under Kevin Peters at the EOC for all that you do to make sure that we are prepared moving forward. And I'm proud to work side by side with the men and women of the city of Tallahassee that will work extremely hard to rebuild our community after any disaster that might take place. That said, I want to remind everybody that your best line of defense is yourself. Please prepare for yourself, your family, your neighbors, and your neighborhood. Now is the time to prepare. We have no more time left to wait. Today is the day. We urge you to stay weather aware as we are on the verge of what could be, as already been mentioned, a historic event. In fact, if the city of Tallahassee is hit directly by a Category 3 hurricane, it will be the strongest hurricane in recorded history ever to hit our community. Current forecasts continue to position us squarely within the cone of Hurricane Helene. Everyone should plan for a possible direct hit, which will bring severe wind damage, and as a result of hours-long sustained winds of excess of 100 miles per hour and flooding. Now, what does this mean for us? We will have countless downed trees. We will have structural damage. We will have loss of power. Yes, if our community remains central in Helene's path as forecasted, we will see unprecedented damage like nothing we have ever experienced before as a community. It is imperative that we all ensure our personal safety, and if you do need to relocate to ensure a safe place to shelter, do it now. Once the storm passes, resources will be directed to the most critical facilities first, like our hospitals here in town. Recovery will be a marathon. It will not be a sprint. We should all be prepared to be without power for several days while the necessary work to rebuild occurs. Maximum resources have been proactively coordinated to restore and help rebuild our city. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, mutual aid resources from 9 states will be arriving later today in our community. We have crews from the great states of Missouri, Louisiana, Ohio, North Carolina, Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Michigan, and of course the state of Florida, all coming to our community to help. By the sun setting this evening, we will have tripled our electric utility workforce, and by the time restoration begins, our goal is to increase it 5-fold. We will have the resources here. We will be prepared. We will do the professional assessment. We will roll up our sleeves, and collectively, we will all get to work. Restoration and recovery and rebuilding is going to take time, given the catastrophic damage we could possibly experience here in our community. I'm encouraging you to go to TalGov website for more information, the Digitally app. Please proactively sign up for all of the notices that are coming through so that you can stay informed and stay safe. Folks, today is the day to prepare. In closing, once again, I want to thank the chairwoman for her leadership and all of the great men and women of the city of Tallahassee, Leon County, the EOC, the school district, the state of Florida that are helping this community prepare for what could be the worst storm in the history of the city of Tallahassee. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our sheriff, Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to all of our leaders who are here. The thing that our first responders want to convey to our citizens is that we are ready. We've been preparing for this since the onset of Helene. What we now need is all of our citizens getting prepared as well. One of the things that we know is that this hurricane will in fact be historic in its impact on our communities. And we've got to make sure that we're doing everything we can individually as well as your leadership. Let me say to you again, now is a time to prepare and be ready. We know that when this hurricane hits, as the mayor indicated, there'll be trees down as we historically have. One of the things we have to do is be neighborly. One of the things we're expecting, law enforcement, EMS, all of us expect our citizens to be a part of our delivery system. And that means having understanding, looking out for your neighbor, working in your neighborhoods, being partners. And this is what this is all about. At times like this is when communities have to come together. And Leon County, Tallahassee, is a role model for the rest of this country in terms of how we do this. And we're insisting that we do our jobs, and we're insisting that our neighbors and our citizens here do their jobs. One of the things I want to say as I close, when this hurricane hits us and moves on, one of the things that law enforcement, first responders need from our citizens, please do not go immediately into the streets. We have first responders trying to get to those locations. And when citizens are going out trying to see what's taking place, you're getting in the way of our being able to be more effective as we possibly can be. So please hunker down, and we will certainly get that information to you as soon as we possibly can about an all clear. But we need all of our citizens at this point in time working together. As we say in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, we have to be all in with respect to these kind of issues in our community. And with that, let me bring forward our great Superintendent of Schools, Rocky Hanna.
Thank you, Sheriff, and good morning. First, I want to say it's an honor to stand up here with other community leaders who do an absolutely amazing job supporting residents here in Tallahassee in Leon County. I've been here my entire life, and I've never seen a group of leaders like I see behind me. And so I want to thank our mayor, Chair Cummings, and all of the folks that are going to make us safe, keep us safe during the storm, and then get us back on our feet after the storm passes. Like Mayor Dailey, we've lived here my entire life. I remember in the mid-1980s, a small Hurricane Kate came through this community and devastated it, and we were offline for weeks. My family personally lived in the street for 10 days because of the damage. So this storm should be taken seriously. With this group gathered on the first day of hurricane season and talked about Billy the Bucket and building your bucket. And if your bucket's empty, you need to get it filled, and filled quickly. I'm honored today to be joined by Darrell Jones, the Leon County School Board, our amazing representative from District 3, and our school board chair, Miss Roseanne Wood, who's also, like me, a longtime employee of our school district. We're built for this moment. Our school district is built for this, and we are, like other agencies, prepared. Over the past 2 days, I have instructed our staff to implement severe weather procedures. We have been securing our schools and preparing our bus fleet and ensuring that our food services will be back online after the storm has passed. I've also instructed our payroll department to ensure that our employees are paid today ahead of our normal typical schedule. We are ready, but now it's your time to prepare as well. A few months ago, like I said, we talked about the importance of the bucket. As I tell my staff, you cannot be in a position to help others if you do not take care of yourself and your family first. Because of what our city does in times like this, they help each other. And as the sheriff said, now is the time for us to help our neighbors. I know there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty, but now is not the time to panic. It's the time to be prepared. Beginning at 6 p.m. tonight, Leon County Schools will open emergency shelters at 7 of our school sites. This is something that our district has done for many years and is proud to do in our community, to give people a safe place to go in times like these. Our employees and staff band together, leave their families to man our emergency shelters. We will have some cots, but you need to bring your own bedding. Those shelters were open at 6 p.m. tonight at the following locations: Childs High School, Lincoln High School, Godby High School, Leon High School, Sale High School, Fairview Middle School, and Fort Braden School on Highway 290 Blountstown Highway. Our schools are built to the highest standards. So if you're living, like Commissioner Cummings said, in a home that you're unsure about its safety, or you're surrounded by trees, please, please, please come to one of our shelters. They are built to withstand hurricane force winds. You will never forgive yourself if you do not leave and a member of your family is hurt, injured, or even worse, is killed. So we prop these shelters up. Our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers, our support staff are manning these facilities along with Leon County Sheriff's Department. So please take advantage of these shelters during the height of the storm. As a reminder, we will continue to communicate directly with our parents through our Focus communication system. I'm proud of Mr. Petley, our communications director, and the job him and his team did yesterday. We have an emergency alert system now internally to message out to parents any logistical changes. Then we follow that up with an email, and then we go to our employees to tell them about changes, and then to the community at large. So I'd like to thank you, Chris, and your team. I see Chief Williams back there, who's worked tirelessly, was up early this morning coordinating with Second Harvest to make sure we have snacks and water at all of our shelters. Jimmy, thank you so much for your leadership. But again, like other government agencies, we're built for this, and we are ready. So let's take care of each other and be safe. And after the storm passes, like again, been here a long time, we're lucky to have this man right here. Him and his team at City Utilities are absolutely amazing. They'll get us back online, but like the sheriff said, don't go out and look for things and just start wandering around. It's going to be really dangerous with electrical lines popping everywhere. So stay inside until you're given the all clear by the people behind me. But in the meantime, please come to our shelters. And again, I'll turn it back over now to Kevin Peters. Thank you. Yeah, great point. So when we started this years ago, we only had one shelter that was pet friendly. I learned very quickly that was not acceptable. We couldn't have a person show up with a pet to one shelter and then send them across town during the height of the storm. So all of our shelters are 100% pet friendly. And we've had some very unique pets visit our shelters. But we are asking that they're crated. And we turn our locker rooms into makeshift kennels during this time. So every shelter is pet friendly, but just make sure they're in crates. Great point, Roseanne. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Hannah. As you've all heard, Leon County has issued a mandatory evacuation for mobile homes and manufactured homes due to the high wind hurricane threat. We are asking manufactured and mobile home residents to seek safer shelter by 8 a.m. Thursday, September 26th. You may have seen coastal counties have issued mandatory evacuations as they will be experiencing up to 15 feet of storm surge. As an inland county, we will not be experiencing that same level of threat. For other residents, please understand that if you stay, you have limited transportation and may be experiencing long-term power outages. If you go, you may not be able to return for days or weeks due to the impacts from the storm. Again, I want to thank all of our media partners here today for helping us get this important information out to our community. And while this concludes our press conference, now begins the time to take action. Implement your family's emergency plan. Download the Leon County Citizens Connect mobile app to stay informed. Monitor the changes to the storm and take action. Thank you for joining us today. If there are questions, we will take those after the press conference. Our speakers will go ahead and exit at this time. Thank you.